Hello, and welcome. Today we are going to be talking all about productivity tips to help you create videos more quickly and efficiently, but still remain and keep the integrity and the quality of those videos. I hope you're excited for today. If you are someone who feels like it's taking you absolutely forever to write your video scripts, record your videos, I want to make sure that I am giving you the best techniques that myself and my students are using right now to make sure that you're cutting back significantly on your time spent. So first off, if you're here watching with me live, drop me a hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay, drop me a hashtag replay below as well. I'm streaming this live in my Facebook group and on YouTube. So wherever you are, let me know you're here live. I see we've got Brienne here live. Awesome. So let's dive into these productivity tips. And specifically, we are going to dive into 3 techniques or tips in particular that are really working very, very well. Hey, April. Hey, Amanda. Good to see you both. So I'm going to go through each one of those things and help you kind of implement and learn about each one of these things. Some of these things that I have created myself, some of these are things that I've learned from others, and I'll give those people credit as well. All right, let me know you're here. Let's jump in and we will get started. So technique number 1 that I want to talk to all of you about today is the Pomodoro Method or technique. So let me know. You can give me a yes in the chat if you have heard about this method. But like I mentioned to you at the beginning of this video, it used to take me forever to create scripts and videos. And one of the reasons that it was taking me so long was because I was very unfocused. So I would go down, I would make time to start my day, and I would find myself responding to clients, and I would find myself responding to emails and checking Instagram and doing all the things and feeling very busy, but not at the end of the day, I'd get there and I'd be like, what did I actually accomplish? And so the Pomodoro Method has basically helped me get really crystal clear on exactly what I am trying to accomplish. And it helps me focus on tackling one thing at a time, right? So instead of trying to clean the entire house or do everything, I'm just cleaning one room. I'm just focusing on one piece of the puzzle. And I will kind of go through in depth on how exactly I'm doing this. So for those of you who don't know what the Pomodoro Method or technique is, it's essentially when you are timing yourself, right? Where you are saying, all right, for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to set a timer, I'm going to hit go, and I'm going to work as quickly and efficiently as I can in this 20-minute window. And you want to think of it almost as a sprint. And during this 20 minutes, you turn off everything else. It's really simple, right? You just get really clear and focused on that one thing. And here's the thing. If you give your brain 20 minutes to do something, it's going to do it in 20 minutes. If you give your brain 2 weeks to do it, it'll do it in those 2 weeks. You've got to get really clear with yourself and your brain, how much time do you have? What are the expectations? And what do you actually need to get done? And so let me go a step further because I want to share my screen with all of you. And I want to show you how I actually use this method. And here's what I set up every single day, right? So let me share my screen right now. And let me get rid of this banner too. Okay, so this is what I either with my notebook or I'll create a Google Doc like this. Every single day I put this together. So every day, I know I only have so much focus energy available. And focus energy is creative energy. It's the stuff that you takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of brain power and energy power and focus power. It's the stuff that's almost kind of exhausting. It's the stuff that the problem solving stuff. It's not the busy work that you do every day that you can do with your eyes closed, right? It's not that. So the Pomodoro Method is for those heavier problem solving focus needed tasks, right? So I set this up right here. So you can see in this Google Doc, we've got sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4. So every day I try to accomplish 4 sprints, and each of the sprints are usually around 15 to 20 minutes of focus time, and I'll have breaks in between those sprints, right? So that means that nothing can penetrate those sprints. There's no answering phones, emails, nothing. It's just focusing on that. And what I do in each sprint before I start is I put the time allotted. So let's say I'm like, all right, I want to write my video script. I'm going to need 20 minutes to do this, right? And the achievement I need is to write video script 1. And that means in this 20 minutes, I don't focus on anything else besides that. And then this distractions area is where I am noting like some of the things that are coming up for me throughout. So let's say I get this urge to check Facebook or answer like a client thing, or I remember something, I'll put like a note. I'll be like 1 because I have a distraction there. I had something come up for me. I'm going to talk more about this in the next technique. And I'll just keep noting it. Like I'll note the distractions and I will note and record wherever I am getting off track so I can continue to improve for the next sprints. And I'm bringing awareness to when my attention is drifting. So if you're watching live or watching the replay, so you have Alma here too, a bunch of other people watching, comment yes. Let me know if this is resonating with you, if this is making sense, or if you have questions on any of this as well. But this has been super, super helpful, this Pomodoro technique, because now, like if you're going in and trying to write your video script, if you give yourself like a week to do it, it's going to take you a week. If you tell your brain, I've got 20 minutes to do this, I have to get this done in the next 20 minutes, you're going to find a way to make that work, right? And obviously there's always techniques to help you kind of hone that and make that better, which I'll talk a little bit about more at the end. But this is a really powerful way to start to get your productivity up really, really quickly. All right, so that is the first technique, the Pomodoro technique. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second, and I'm going to go through and tell you all about the second technique that we're going to go through. So the first technique was that Pomodoro technique, where we're timing ourselves, getting really clear and focused on what we need to accomplish. The second technique is called surfing urges. And this is something I actually learned from Youre, who wrote Indistractable. It's basically a book on hacking back the distraction and the psychology of distraction, basically. It's an amazing, amazing book. Would highly, highly recommend it. And it's not just a book that's like, here, do all these hacks. It's like really deeply explaining like why distraction comes up. So if you're trying to sit down and write your video script, a lot of times what will happen and like why it's taking so long is because you're trying to do all the things. You're distracted. Like there's, a video you forgot to watch and your mom's calling you and your friend is DMing you. Like there's productive things where you're like, I got to go clean this thing or, do this thing or, there's all this stuff that comes up. Let me know if that's you, whether you productively or unproductively procrastinate or get distracted. That is very, very real. But here's the thing, and this is a big takeaway I had from this book, is when distractions or procrastination are happening, the biggest way to start solving it is, yes, we can use hacks like the Pomodoro technique, but there's always a deeper reason why it's happening. There's a deeper reason why things are taking a long time. So let me go through how we start figuring out and what it means to surf these urges. So surfing urges basically means that when you have that distraction feeling, like for example, let's say you're sitting down to write your video script and you're sitting down to write it and all of a sudden you feel this like really strong pull to like check Facebook and you're like, oh, I forgot to answer that client or I forgot to respond to this thing or whatever, right? You have this strong urge or pull taking you that way. Or you sit down to record your video and all of a sudden you're like, oh, the kids need this or that, or I forgot to call this family member back. The most important thing to do in that moment is not to ignore it or push away, but to surf it, meaning to take stock of it, to catalog it, to deeply understand what's actually going on. Why is this thing coming up? Because a lot of times these distraction and procrastination feelings are masking a more deeply rooted fear that's there or a more deeply rooted problem that's like surfacing in this way, right? Let me know if this is all making sense. I see Brian saying I need to try this. Awesome. So let me show you how I am surfing urges while I'm using the Pomodoro technique. So if I share my screen again, you can see right in this Pomodoro technique, I've got these sprints happening, right? So let's say I go into sprint 2 and I'm like, all right, this is going to be 15 minutes. And in sprint number 2, I need to outline my weekly live, right? And I'm like, all right, I need to put together my entire flow for that live. This distraction area, I told you, I marked down every distraction. So what I will literally do is if I'm outlining my weekly live and I have this urge to check Facebook, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to put this mark and then I'm going to like take a minute and like breathe through it. Like literally like take a deep breath, like let it out and like think about what's making me anxious. So at the beginning, like when I was new to going live and I would have these feelings of like when I was outlining my lives, I would be like, all right, I have this like pull to like go and check Facebook and help my clients. But really when I like took that minute to like surf those urges, I was like, no, I'm anxious about people not showing up. I'm anxious about the fact that like, what if this content sucks and I put all this energy into this? I'm anxious about like, what if I don't pick up any new clients this month and all this is a waste of time, right? And so this is why a lot of the times like lives and videos are taking so freaking long to get done. It's because we're allowing all of these distractions and like different pulls and pushes that are like coming from emotional places to dictate the actions that we are taking, right? Like if we were like emotion free, we would be able to like just sit down and get this done in 15 minutes, but like that isn't the case, right? So you need to like train yourself to recognize those urges that are coming up, use the Pomodoro method, surf these urges, and like get to the root of like what is bothering you and why is it coming up. And once you do that and you train yourself to build this type of self-awareness, it's going to get easier and you're going to get more efficient at writing these scripts. So I know a lot of you might be like, why did we get this deep dive into like psychology? Like when I just wanted like the hacks on like how to do this easier. Maybe there was an app, maybe there was a video editing software or whatever, but like this is the real stuff that like is actually going to help you move forward and make progress. So whether it's like writing your video scripts or recording a video, or whether it is something else in your business right now, like you have to learn to master this this self-awareness to be able to then get more efficient and productive. Cool. So I see a couple people saying, thank you. I definitely need to try this. Amazing. Awesome. So let me know in the comments, like what has been your biggest takeaway so far? We still have one more technique that I want to go through with all of you. And let me get to that now. So the last one, and just to recap. So far we've gone through the Pomodoro method. We've gone through surfing urges. And the last thing that I want to go through is like mastering your mindset and this idea of like done is better than perfect. If you've been in my group, if you've been in my courses, if you're one of my students, you know that like this is like a mantra in every single thing that we do. Done is better than perfect. If you've heard me say this and you're like, Alex, you're a broken record, you can let me know, you can comment broken record, but I'm not going to stop saying it because it's so important. And the reason I am bringing it up here is because the last reason why I think that it takes so long for people to write their video scripts and record their videos is because they are obsessed and paralyzed with this idea of their videos needing to look or feel or sound a certain way. And here's the thing. Because we are people who are ever evolving, we're all people who are really focused on personal development and business development. And right, to have a business and to be a business owner, you have to be that person, right? There's no successful business owner out there who's stagnant, right? You have to be that personal development focused type of person, right? And so that means that you're constantly iterating and evolving and changing and growing and adapting. And so the content that you put out a month ago is going to feel not as good or not as perfect because you've already evolved another 30 days later. And I know this because for me, like I literally every month, like the content I put out a month ago, I'm already like, oh man, like, I mean, who I am now is different from who I was a month ago. And it feels different. And like, I know I could have said it better or said it differently or said it more articulately. And so that's a reality. And I think there's this reality that we think all of a sudden things are going to feel good or things are going to feel perfect. But because, again, we are these beings who are ever evolving, it's never going to feel that way about your videos. So I want us to, quote unquote, embrace the suck, embrace this idea that like your videos shouldn't be perfect and you're never maybe going to fully be able to appreciate them from inside the bottle. Right, there's this great saying. I had this book coach as well who used to always say this. It's really hard to read the label from inside the bottle. So if you're someone who's working from inside the bottle, you creating, and you don't get to see the label because you're broadcasting from outside that bottle, you're in this own unique experience that you're having, right? You're not going to be able to like fully see the greatness that you have out there, what you're putting out there with this new perspective, right? Versus what someone else could see. So, when I'm like, wow, my video sucked from a month ago, there's all these other people who are like, I love what you're doing and you've helped me so much, and et cetera, et cetera. So done is better than perfect is the through line there. That's the main thing that I want to emphasize. And that, yeah, like don't be afraid to like mess up and keep it messy and just take imperfect action. And I see a bunch of people saying, we need your broken record, keep it coming. Broken records and all, we love you, broken records and all. All right, I love it. All right, so I'm gonna keep being that broken record, so to speak. Yeah, so it's important to just make sure that we are okay with like putting things out there imperfectly. And again, going back to the broken record thing, this is something I say all the time when I start my live video challenges and to the students that I have in my video skills lab, my accelerator, is that the people who are having success online, especially with video, and this is after teaching like over 1,000 students in the last 2 years, is not that they have some unique or special skill. It's not that they're better at editing or that they're more beautiful than someone else or they have a better background or whatever. It's literally just that they're taking action, that they're moving forward, and that they're people that are ever evolving, and that they're people who are just detached and moving forward, taking action. So that's all I have to say for today. I hope all of you got a lot of value out of this whole series. Just so you know, this was part number 4 of this 4-part series on the 4 shifts needed to create really powerful and transformational videos. So if you didn't watch parts 1 through 3, they're available in the Facebook group and on my YouTube channel as well. I'm streaming to both places right now. So go back and watch those because there's some really good stuff, like why you should ditch the script. I have stuff on, things you need to like get your engagement up, some really good stuff in there. And the last thing I'll say too is like, if you are someone who wants me to personally help you with your video marketing strategy, and you want the live coaching, mentorship, you want that library of training, if you haven't yet joined the Video Skills Lab, it's $9 a month right now. It's like dirt cheap. And you get access to 2 Zoom coaching calls every month. We have weekly live streams every single week. We've got this whole library of content literally walking you through how to build your successful video marketing strategy tailored to your business. This month, May 2022, we are also doing a workshop, a 2-part workshop on how to write out a highly converting video script in 15 minutes or less. So we're going to get on Zoom. We're going to do this entire workshop on Zoom. So if you're not in the Skills Lab, make sure you get in because the first one starts tomorrow. And if you are in, make sure your calendar is marked because it's going to be a really good time. I'm actually very, very excited about this series. Awesome. All righty. Well, I hope all of you like really enjoyed this entire series. I'm looking forward to more amazing content to come in the future. If you watched with me live, drop me a hashtag live. If you watch the replay, drop me a hashtag replay. And I hope all of you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. And I will talk to you soon.